Hi everyone, it's Dino with One Tom Plumber. There's a chill in the air. November is here. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Did you know that calls to plumbers increased by 50% the day after Thanksgiving? Well, I'm going to give you 5 plumbing tips for Thanksgiving that are going to keep your holiday from turning into a turkey. Tip number 1, prepare your house before Thanksgiving starts. Okay, what I mean by that is plumbing, like most things in life, requires maintenance. So if something's already having a problem, you're already having a leak, you're already having a drain clog in particular, that's going to be even worse after Thanksgiving when you have all sorts of foods going down the drain. So one item you might want to tick off your list is week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before Thanksgiving, call your local plumber and have them just do a quick audit. Or if you know enough DIY plumbing yourself, go around the house, check everything first. Just make sure everything's in order. Tip number 2, you want to make sure your garbage disposal is working. The garbage disposal is going to be your best friend over the Thanksgiving holiday when you're eating and preparing foods, chopping up foods. What you're going to do is probably accidentally, if not purposefully, you're going to put a lot of that down the drain into a garbage disposal. Make sure it's working. So one thing you want to do in properly using the garbage disposal is run some hot water a minute before you put any debris down there. And then make sure the water continues running for a minute after you have put the debris down there. Then turn it off, and then you should be good to go. Now, if something does happen with your garbage disposal, here's one way to test it beforehand. Make sure it is working, and if it's not, there's a little reset button. It's usually red right underneath the garbage disposal at the bottom. Just hit the reset button, try again, and it should clear any problem that's happening. If not, you're going to want to call a plumber. Tip number 3, don't put sticky, starchy foods down your drain. Now, the big problem here is whether it's while you're preparing food or leftovers later. A lot of people are just going to take that wooden chopping board, take a knife, and just brush everything off into their garbage disposal or their drain. That is the absolute worst thing you can do. This is one of the biggest reasons why we get so many calls the day after Thanksgiving, where we get a clog. Here are the things you do not want to put down the drain. You don't want to put any kind of sticky, starchy food. You don't want to put any kind of stringy food like vegetables, broccoli, anything like that. Not even the remains of those items. And then you also don't want to put grease or oils. Grease in particular is a really big problem. And then there's also hard objects like eggshells and nuts. Don't put any of those kind of things down the drain or the disposal. It's either going to hurt your drain or it's going to hurt your garbage disposal, which is not, contrary to popular belief, your garbage disposal is not made or meant to handle those kind of items. Okay, here's tip number 4. It should probably be tip number 2. And what I'm talking about is poop. Unfortunately, it's something we all do and have to do. We're going to be eating a lot. We're going to be using the toilet. We're also going to have guests over. So the toilet's going to be used much more often. So the chance of a toilet clog goes dramatically up. Now, what I want you to do is make sure that you put a plunger in all the bathrooms with a toilet. The reason for that is you do not want a guest, whether it's a family member or a friend, you do not want them to be embarrassed to have to ask for a plunger. And also, if you know how to use a plunger correctly, you're going to be able to unclog this yourself if your guest doesn't. Number 5, the final tip, cut down on shower time. When you have a holiday like Thanksgiving or Christmas, you're going to probably have people staying overnight, or at least a lot of you will. I know we will. So what you want to do is make sure that everybody gets a hot shower. One of the problems is that everybody wants to get out on the next day, which is Black Friday, to go shopping, and everybody uses the shower at the exact same time. That's a particular problem with Thanksgiving or the day after. So what you're going to want to do is make sure the temperature is at a certain degree. Normally we say between 110 and 120 degrees, but you might want to push it up to 125 degrees on your water heater. The other thing that you're going to want to do is stagger each of the showers. So every 10 minutes, schedule somebody else for a shower. Just make sure that you wait about 10 minutes in between people's showers so that the water heater has some chance to recuperate and get that hot water capacity back up again. So the last 2 or 3 people taking the shower aren't having a cold Black Friday. All right, those are my 5 tips, but I do have a bonus tip. Well, it's not really a tip. I just want to say happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great time with your family or your friends and enjoy. We're so grateful that you've been watching this channel. If you do like it and you're just as grateful that we're trying to help you out, please like, share, comment. We'd really appreciate it. I'll see you next week.